immigration in Texas. Plus, recent challenges like a new state law that will ban the sale of property in Texas to some Chinese immigrants. We visited a new exhibit at the Austin Central Library and spoke with Hugh Lee, who heads the Austin Chinese American Network, a nonprofit community support group. Joining us now is Hugh Lee, the president of the Austin Chinese American Network. Hugh, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
So, Hugh, Texas has the third largest percentage of Asian Americans of all states in the U.S., with the largest group being Chinese immigrants. What role have Chinese immigrants played in Texas history?
Oh, as you can see from the exhibit here, there is a lot. And the history goes back hundreds of years in Texas as well as in the U.S. And Chinese immigrants came to this state, centuries ago, and have been on this land ever since, and making their contributions, making their own American dreams, and it continues till today.
And these days, economic, along with geopolitical and other tensions, or rather a rivalry between the U.S. and China, have been top of mind. How is that then impacting Chinese Americans here in Texas today?
It's impacting us in many different ways. I would say that started around the COVID pandemic. There's this, you can feel that there is a level of animosity towards Asian Americans, towards Chinese Americans in the U.S., in Texas. And I think things got even worse lately. We feel that there is a lot of tension that was put on the Chinese American here in Texas, and that makes us feel fearful and uncertain about our future, and particularly our next generation's future in Texas.
The Texas legislature has passed a bill giving the governor power to ban certain property ownership by Chinese individuals, as well as individuals of nations who are from nations that the government has deemed hostile to the United States. The bill has been called racist by some Asian Americans in the legislature, like Jean Wu from Houston, principally. What are your thoughts on that?
I think my personal view is that these bills are definitely discriminatory, and because it singles out nationals from certain countries, from around the world, certain countries to target. And by definition, that is a discrimination on a national origin basis. These bills, like SB 17 that you just mentioned, targets people from 4 different countries. That's China, North Korea, Iran, and Russia. And so the bill, SB 17, even though in name targets nationals from those 4 countries, it actually predominantly targets Chinese Americans or Chinese nationals in Texas. So you could legitimately call, some of the clauses targeting, a specific group from a certain country to be racist.
And the tensions between U.S. and China, some are saying, is what's propelling this, and they're citing these national security concerns. Mm-hmm. But as a Chinese American living here in Texas and seeing these bills and these international conversations play out, what is your response as a Chinese American to those people's security concerns?
From a national security standpoint, yes, China and the U.S. are not in a very good situation strategically, and I think each might deem the other an adversary country. The problem is, I have no problem of government policies targeting foreign countries or foreign governments or even the ruling parties, but we cannot actually impact the people, the individual people who are from those countries, who are already in the U.S. legally and in Texas legally, building our American dream. Because it's very important to separate national security policies from targeting entities and governments to impacting individuals, because U.S. is a democracy, and we have constitutional rights. We have constitutions that protects individual rights, including property rights. So in this case, I feel that these legislations, trying to strengthen the security measure of Texas against the foreign adversaries, but it actually impacts individuals like me and like my friends and students who are coming to Texas to study, workers, high-tech workers coming to the Texas to help build a high-tech manufacturing in Texas and build the Texas economy. I think the impact on these people is what really, really worries us and worries our community.
Well, Hugh Lee, president of the Austin Chinese American Network, thank you so much for answering our questions and sharing your insight with us.
Thank you for having me.
Chinese heritage in Austin is on display at Austin Central Library in a first-of-its-kind exhibit, which we toured with Jun Xu, president of the Asian American Art and Culture Initiative. Now we're here with the president and founder of the Asian American Art and Culture Initiative, Jun Xu. Jun, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
So, Jun, right now we are at the Austin Central Library at the new exhibit, Roots Unveiled, Chinese American History, 1783 to 1945. That's a lot of years. So please, can you tell us how all the various artifacts, the videos and the photos and other cool objects you have here help tell the story of Chinese immigration here in Texas?
Well, actually, this history has been overlooked for many years. So our curator, Xu Huazhan, has divided the entire exhibit into 4 parts, include the U.S.-China relation, when and how did U.S. and China first started the relationship, right? They need to start dating, right? And then get into a relationship, right? And then it also talk about how there are 2 waves of Chinese immigrants coming to United States back in the 1800s. Number one was the exchange program of students, between the Qing China and the U.S. government. There was agreement, a treaty for that. And then later on, the Transcontinental Railroad, that's when the most Chinese immigrants start flushing into United States. They were invited to come here to build a railroad. Then we zoom into Austin, and what did Austinite community has to tell to us? And we found out that there was a rich history in the Austin community that represent Texas very, very well. So we were the one that wanted to uncover that history to everyone.
And I want to elaborate on one quote that really, I feel like, epitomizes your mission here, and that struck me personally. The quote from your curator saying in part, quote, "Too often, Chinese Americans are caught between geopolitical tensions they didn't create," end quote. It's certainly very timely to today. Why do you think it's important to better understand and to shed new light on these eras of Chinese American history?
I think history tells us that Chinese Americans always caught in between, like you said, right? So back in the 1800s, 1780s, after the Transcontinental Railroad was done, there was the Chinese Exclusion Act. So we were the one being expelled. And then now we are caught in between this geopolitical tension. We wanted to send a message that the people should be separated from the government. And we should not be penalized by what the Chinese, our origin government has done. And being penalized here in the U.S. We are here basically seeking the American dream that we want, and we are here to build a beautiful family, contribute back to the society that we live in, just same thing as what we're doing in Texas. And that's the message that we wanted to send out.
And that being said, when people come here, what do you hope that they learn and take away with them?
I hope that they can compare our narrative to the propaganda that is outside this exhibit. I think that the Chinese American history are too often overlooked. We are not on textbook. We are overseen by many programs in the past. We're not that important. And usually those propagandas are louder than our own voice. We felt that there is a narrative that we need to change from within, from our community. We need to present our voice to the greater society and let them connect the message out there, connect and compare to what we have here in this exhibit.
It's so important for all of us to learn, and I love how you made it engaging and really visual and accessible for everyone. Roots Unveiled is open now until August 31st here at the Austin Central Library. Jun Xu, the president and founder of the Asian American Art and Culture Initiative, thank you so much for speaking with us.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.